How far?
165.
165, okay. Front pin, right? So how far is it to the front pin?
156.
156, 155. Where's the wind?
Out of my back, slightly off my left.
Okay, downwind, left or right. What club are you hitting?
6.
6, okay. We're trying to take enough club to get over that bunker if we go a touch right, but not too far right. Now, what shot shape do you see yourself hitting? What trajectory? How high? How's it going to curve? Where's it going to end up?
It's gonna be fairly high.
Okay, so he wants to hit a high ball. So the higher you hit the ball into with wind, the more the wind's going to affect it, correct?
Right.
Okay, so where are you going to aim?
I was going to just, if you had to talk to me, I would have aimed at the right side of the back bunker and hit a high straight, which would be a little bit of fade with the wind.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
All right, you can still play that shot.
Okay.
All right, Ray, so we got you over on hole number 3 over at Arrowood. I believe you had 156 to the pin, 165 to the middle. Wind was downwind off the left. So we have you, let's get into a few lines that we got drawn here. So A, again, we're lining a little bit off the toe again, but not a huge deal. So we're aiming this at the pin. I think you're trying to aim a little bit more left. So alignment was already a little bit off there. Now what you did a good job of was your foot line was a lot better than it normally is. A couple notes here. I would say your spine angle is over at 149. I like to see it at 154, so you're a little bent over from the above the waist, as well as your knee flex is over at 144, so that's pretty bent over as well. I typically see that number right around 155 to 160. So even at setup, we're already kind of getting into that crouch position I typically see you do when you first come in for lessons, so that's something to keep note of. Let's run you up to P2. So as we get into P2, pretty good takeaway. That's a lot better than it normally is actually, but again, remember we really over exaggerated it towards the end of the lesson. So as we get left arm parallel, you're pointing outside ball target line, which I don't like. I like to see the club shaft a little bit more inside ball target line, ideally between the golf ball and the toes. As we can see, your head is moving in like it typically does, but not as much as it normally does, and that's actually not bad for you, Ray. That's not too bad there. Now as we start coming down to left arm parallel again, this is kind of where we get our issues here, correct? So we're pointing just barely outside ball target line, but look how far away this club shaft is from this line. So I want you to get parallel to the ball target line, or to the original shaft line, but I want you to be a little bit closer parallel. So that means your hand path can't work as far out as it is right now. So that's something to keep note of. As well as we look at your head, we can see that you're starting to back out of the shot like you typically do, trying to save it because we're steep with the hand path. But you got away with this one. You hit a nice little pull fade, started left edge green, wind took it back, hit it about 15 feet, so it was a pretty good shot, but just something to keep note of.
All right, so we had a par 4, right around 385, 390 yards, middle pin, downwind, wind slightly off the left. So where are you gonna aim, Ray?
I'm going to aim for the left side of the fairway, so it's just left of the left center of the bunker.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
looking at the left edge of the
Now why are you doing that? What is your typical miss?
Typical miss is probably a slight slice.
Okay, cool.
But we're not going all the way left, so
All right.
if I
So
hit
now what are we gonna do with our practice swing?
full speed in balance.
Full speed and balance. All right, cool. I like it. No mechanical. We're not worrying about pronation, supination, flexion, radial deviation, you know, all that crap. Smooth practice swing in balance. Cool. All right, now pick your alignment spot. Perfect. All right, now just make a balanced swing.
Alright, Ray, so we have a 370 yard par 4 here. I believe the one was downwind off the left, so you're trying to aim at this middle of that bunker right there, I believe, or even left side of it. So if we get your club face, you're obviously aimed pretty good, maybe just a little bit too far right. Toe line is definitely aimed a little bit too far right, so that's not what I like to see. Now, once we get into your knee flex, you're over at 141, so that's too much flex in the knees. I need you up at around 155 to 160 range. Spine angle at the back is pretty good there. I like that. Let me redraw this line right here, because that's a little, there we go. Alright, so let's take you up to P2. So P2, takeaway is definitely, hand path is tracing okay, club head's a little bit too far outside for my liking. Now we get you up to left arm parallel. I mean, I don't have to draw a line, you know that's outside ball target line. Top of the swing, head moved in. Left arm is on shoulder line, pretty good. Structure of the arms looks good there. Knee flex, everything's fine. Left arm parallel. Parallel to that shaft there, not bad. I'm okay with that. You're pointing a little bit outside ball target line, which is cool. Now watch as this head backs out, and that's where our issue came in on that one. So watch as you hit this one off the toe. See how much your head backed out from where it was. That's kind of the issue right there. So anyways, I feel like you shallowed out the shaft decently on here. I just feel like the head backed out, which caused some issues there. That's why we hit that little toey cut there. But all
right, so where are we aiming this?
We're aiming right side of the first tree, left side of the second tree.
Okay, cool. And we got 126 out of the rough, touch of a flower lie maybe, a little bit downwind. I don't even think you need to hit a full pitching wedge here. Now, main thing with these left to right or downhill lies, ball below feet, we're taking a smooth swing here, and I think for you, staying in a little bit more flexion of the knees will help. So that's kind of your feel. In balanced swing, getting those knees a little lower. We'll see how we do.
Alright, Ray, so we got a 126-yard pitching wedge, downwind, went off the left slightly, ball below the feet, and the rough, sitting down slightly. So let's get into it. So you got a little bit too much flex in the knees, but not bad. I know typically people flex the knees more, especially when the ball's below the feet, so I'm not too bad about that. 145, same thing. People usually bend over a little bit more, nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Let's take you takeaway. So right away we started kind of hand path was tracing good. Club face got a little bit too low underneath that original shaft line. Left arm parallel, way outside ball target line. Top of the swing, good structure. Downswing, left arm parallel, steep, very, very, very steep. Which then got us to do what? Watch our head as we back out and extend. Then we top that shot, and we hit a low runner up there, about 30 yards short. So I think a lot of this had to do with takeaway. Takeaway gets you a little bit off balance, which then throws off your cycle. I like you to see going more so towards the heels than back to the toes on the downswing. You're going out way to the heels, and then, or you're going way out to the toes and then going way back trying to the heels, trying to find your center. So definitely not a good swing to do for that downhill line.
You know, just straight over the rough, the edge of the fairway, land right there.
On the right side, you're going right of the hole?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's try one where we go left of the hole. Let's try to land it. You see the upslope?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hit a low running shot into the upslope there. Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll see how it bounces. We're gonna try to land it. Let me run for the camera. Try to land it like right around here-ish. And low, right? It's not gonna get too far off the ground. Make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, let's try it out.
I don't think it'll get me anywhere near the flag, but that's okay.
I think it will. I think you'll be surprised. Especially with an A wedge.
Okay.
So hit my landing spot and you'll be, trust me, you'll be fine.
Alright, Ray, so we got a little pitch shot here. This is actually a really great example of why you struggle with your irons and your short irons, even though it's in a little pitching motion, so we'll kind of get into it. But before we do, let's get into knee flex. I would say is a little bit too much. 138, I'd like to see more over that 144. I do know you're gripping down on the club, but still 138 is a little bit too much flex. Let me get this spine angle better. I would say you're standing okay, a little tall there. You might be crowding the golf ball just a touch if we're going to get into all of it. I mean, nothing too crazy here. Let's take you up. I know you're using my little pitching motion that kind of showed for you there, so I'm okay with that takeaway. Now, as we come into the golf ball, what I want you to watch is, how long that club head stays on that blue line. That's what you do with your irons, and watch what happens to the golf ball. You actually hook that pitch shot. Look at it curve. Can you see that curve right there? You hooked a pitch shot. You hooked that probably about 3 yards with a little pitch swing. So with irons, whenever you're hitting down on the golf ball, your club head, as soon as the next click right here, this toe of the golf club should already be on this other side of the line. So you're just keeping that club head traveling on that line for too long, and that's where you get those hook shots from. Because your swing direction is too far right for your angle of attack. If you're going to hit down on the ball, you got to exit left, and you're not exiting left. You're staying on that line for a pretty long time with the club head. So